Hi, everybody. It's Jeff again, and I want to kind of give a kind of quick explanation why I'm supporting this Artists for Ukraine concert that's coming up tomorrow, and kind of a little bit of background why I believe in it. And the when I heard about Invisible City, I kind of thought, oh, this is interesting, and it reminds me of a number of years ago. What Invisible City is doing is trying to make sure that artists, musical artists, here in this case, are paid for what they do. They're paid to perform, and as Ksenia's had said, in a recent interview, that the problem is that many performers don't get paid, and they don't. It's kind of like, well, we want to market for you, or you want to do this, and and I totally understand that because back in a number of years ago, uh, yeah, probably almost 10 years ago now. Not quite, a little bit less than that. Um, I My son was really into magic, kind of do magic tricks and stuff, and trying to find a place for him to kind of do things. Um, he didn't like school, and and just trying to find things that he liked to do, and do that. So for the company, we had our company end of year party. They had a kind of big magic show. All the magicians that are on TV in France, they had them on a big rented a whole facility and had them call do shows and all the shows and stuff. Same thing you see on TV. Um, and they had a whole room down on the lower floor where all the magicians were doing all their little blowing of balloons and doing card games and stuff, and the kids could come and play with it and do things. It was kind of really interactive for all the families. And so I saw that my two sons were just glued to the card table. The guy was doing all the card trick stuff and all that, right? And so both my sons were really just on that table for an hour, and the magician was he was showing them the tricks actually what he was doing at the end. So after that kind of that whole show and everything, and they had the big show and all that. So I went up and found the artists or these magicians actually up in their kind of the hidden rooms. I had to go find them and stuff where they were, and had to ask a number of people, and the security guards, to go talk to them. And I got up there and talked to them, and I said, I'd like to know how to kind of get my son into this magic stuff, because I would do that. And they said, well, it's kind of really difficult. And I said, hey, look, it took me a while to find you, and I'm not going to say it twice. So I want to know how to get my son involved in this magic stuff, because this is what he wants to do. And they just asked me where I was from and stuff, and I told them the town and stuff. And they said, "Hey, John back there. Hey, don't you kind of live down in that area?" And as it came to today, we kind of like lived in the same like we were within like 10 kilometers of each other. So this is really close. Um, and so we're talking to him, and so he gives me his business card for the magic stuff, but he's also got a restaurant. So I'm thinking, oh, this is interesting. So I check him out on Facebook, and he's got this nice little dining restaurant. It's kind of a really nice little restaurant, like a nice dining. And so I sent him an email, and I said, hey, look, I'll make you a deal. I'll play music at your restaurant on the weekends, in the evenings, for you to give do magic kind of lessons to my son. So that's how we started, and it turned into and he said my son was really picking up really fast in the magic stuff. But then my son wanted to get into cooking, right? Hey, it's a restaurant. So we kind of converted the magic lessons into cooking lessons, right? So my son was doing that for a while, and I'm playing the music to pay for it basically, which is kind of a deal. And while we're doing this stuff, I mean, I've got a job, so it's not like I got to make money. But what I'm thinking about this whole time is it would be kind of cool to be able to do this so that because I don't have to make the living off the music, right? But other musicians need to make music, need to make a living off the music. And I had supported other musicians in doing things like having to do videos for our music association at SAP and stuff, and paid them for the videos and stuff. Paid them make lesson learn kind of guitar videos and piano videos and stuff. So I'd already just started doing that, or I did about the same time. And so I said to myself, well, why don't I just, if the idea is to create a context in which people want to pay the musicians, right? And it's really hard to do. And I've been doing a lot of concerts for birthday parties and stuff. I was playing in some bands and stuff, and it's kind of hard to get much money out of it. I mean, you end up, yeah, you're breaking even. And so I was thinking, how can you do this in restaurants? So what we did was, I'd go play for 3 hours, 4 hours at the restaurant, but really, really live music, really, really loud music. I mean, it's not louder than like the music stuff you hear in the speakers over the radio, right? This live music, people freak out. I bring like 6 guitars and stuff. I have a piano and 5, 6 guitar, I think 6 guitars in my record. And I'd have all different colors and stuff, and I'd switch between them and play the different stuff and singing too and everything. Different guitars for different songs. And then near the end of the evening, the owners would come out, and either the chef would come out or his wife would come out. They'd announce me and say, Jeff's been playing live music here and all that stuff, and he's got a cowboy hat over here if you want to participate to pay for like the guitar strings and the gas to come. And sometimes it as things it started out, people come in and they say, oh, all these guitars, they want to go sit in the corner of the room because they thought they would be too loud. But they were actually the people that tipped the most because they were just surprised at how low the volume was. It was for the dining experience. It wasn't to have a concert, right? It was to kind of accompany the rest of stuff. And so at the end of the evening, when I'd be announced, I'd kind of explain. I say, I basically explain to them, hey, this is the music here is kind of like the ingredients in your food. I've got different guitars, just like you have different ingredients in your food that are spicy or different tastes of sauces or stuff or all that. Well, I have different tastes of wood here, and the guitars actually kind of accompany the sound of the song I'm doing. And so I'd give us some examples. And I say, hey, that Michael Jackson song over there, I Want You Back. Well, I got to play the blonde guitar because that's got the voice this high and stuff. It's good. And you're going to hear my voice when I'm playing it. Or if I play Pretty Woman, I got to play this other one. Or if I'm playing a John Denver song, I need to have this rosewood color. And I explain this for a couple minutes, right? And making it relevant to their meal and how they fit. And they'd start tipping because it's just like you can tell they're loving it. And some people come up and, hey, can you explain that a little bit more and stuff? And finally, it got to a point where after a number of months, they would actually call the restaurant and say, "Is this the music weekend?" Okay, and that's where I saw that this was an opportunity to turn this into seeing how much it would be possible to get people to tip for the music, and so it becomes a regular thing. So that as I would hopefully kind of withdraw from the scene, that musicians that need to make money would be able to come in and be able to do it on a regular basis and actually make part of their living by tips, or by some arrangement with the restaurant in order to be able to use that as a marketing opportunity for people to come to the restaurant, which has been starting what I had already started doing. So that was kind of my background of why I really support this whole idea of this support paying for the musicians, because I was doing that. I was trying to create the same scene, kind of the same setup in my town where I live here in France, and had started doing it, and I was always talking about hoping that the other musicians would be able to make their living off doing that. So I've contributed that in kind of a way. So that's why I kind of believe in this. I do believe in this kind of setup. So thanks so much.